Alrighty, sisters and brothers of TOS. This is my first video interview ever, but I thought I would try to do this to talk about the importance of breathing and also our tactile system and how absolutely important it is. It's never discussed. I do want to lay a foundation for myself. I believe that God created everything perfectly, and that includes human beings, and that it's men who mess with his creations, and because of our lack of intelligence and knowledge, we mess things up. So I'm going to kind of go back to the very beginning of time and review the tactile system and how we were created. We were created naked. Now, if you think about it, when you get out of the shower and dry off, and you've ever ran around the house or been alone and you've been naked alone, you feel free. And it's not just because of a sexual feeling, it's because your tactile system that is all over your body, your sense of touch, is free. Your body is telling you that it's free. You breathe easier, you breathe deeper, you're happier, you feel good. This is real sensations that aren't just coming from your brain, they're coming from your body. Your body, your brain, and your soul all work together simultaneously. They work like in a trinity. And so what happens in the mind also happens in the body. Just like the book, The Body Keeps the Score. And so I want to present that about the tactile system, which is also what MAT harnesses and uses to do a little muscle test. I mean, it's literally you're laying down, and for your shoulders, they're going to have you stick your arms up here like this, and you're going to push. They're going to push, and you're going to push against the resistance. And then they'll rotate your hand, or they'll move it just a different position, slightly different position, access another muscle strand, and have you push. When that muscle strand is not working, then you won't be able to push back. There will be nothing there. You'll be extremely weak. Then they'll lay you on your back, and they will use their fingers, and I'm going to do it on my front. So they're just going to take your fingers and press along your body, which typically is almost the entire back, from your shoulders or your spine, almost down to your hips. And they touch all along that muscle fiber, letting your brain know, hey, this is where I want you to concentrate right now. And then they're going to turn you over, and they're going to do the same test, and you're going to be able to resist. You're going to be able to push. It's totally crazy. But the whole idea is just right now, look at your arm right here. Are you aware of this spot in your arm right now? Don't touch it, but are you aware of it? Okay, well, I mean, you where you have an arm, but now go like that and just rub your skin. Your heightened awareness of that part of your skin, I can still feel it. I can notice it. It's in my conscious brain. So that's the whole idea of MAT. It's putting that part of your body into the conscious brain and conscious awareness, and then accessing that muscle while it's in the conscious awareness and reconnecting. He uses the word battery cables to get the brain to start communicating with that muscle again. Because just like our brain, our body can go into trauma and freeze. And it's no different than in the Body Keeps the Score book. They use the example of a car accident where a couple gets in a car accident, and one of the people, they they mourn. It's a tragedy. There's fear. But then 2 or 3 weeks later, one of them is fine. The other one, they have a fear of driving. They have a fear of crossing a bridge for months and months, maybe even years, because that fear is still stuck in the body. Okay, so we all have childhood experiences that are stuck in our body. You might have had an abusive experience as a child, maybe you didn't, but we all have traumas that we've stored up in our body, especially that of a self-image. And so this is where I want to kind of transfer into, especially speaking to the women right now, the tactile system of the body. I have noticed that TOS patients, victims, are mostly sisters. They're mostly women. The men, they seem to be accidents that have caused these injuries. And so when I joined the group 2 years ago, I was like, why do women, I was shocked. I had no idea that this would be almost like a woman's syndrome. And so then I noticed that the women were posting about larger breasts and and bras and and things like that of what was more comfortable. And so it was just the assumption that it was because of large breasts. Well, it wasn't until a couple weeks ago I was having a discussion with another young lady from the TOS group, and she had mentioned that she had got a breast reduction, and I was just like, that just doesn't sound right. So I started researching, and what I found was concerning, very concerning for you women. And it has nothing to do with the breast sizes. It has to do with the bra, the constriction, the tension around the rib cage, the tactile reference that you have something wrapped around. And there is all kinds of studies talking about when our bodies get tight, our chest, we shallow breathe. We breathe, it's called thoracic breathing. So we breathe from up here. It's already proven study that women breathe higher because of the tactile reference and suppression from the bra. And so I started transitioning to that, to also even with men, so everybody in general. When you're stressed out, when you're tight, then you're holding your breath and your body is tense, your chest is tense, and so you're only breathing with your chest. And you're also only breathing with your scaling muscles. And what your shoulders do is come up to compensate for this. Well, also you can imagine bra straps and the everything here. And so everything starts slumping forward, shoulders go up, neck gets pulled down. Well, what's right here that we all know all about? Breathing. Like, we're neck breathing, we're in tension, our body is curling up. This is a big part of this tactile signals that the bodies are getting, especially the females. That to me explains a lot of why the females seem to be just being overwhelmed. Of course, we have sitting at desks, lots of sitting, bad posture. Of course, our cell phones, looking at the cell phones and all the other bad posture. Everybody's doing that. So of course those are other factors. Not only that, the stress. It's a proven fact that our breathing gets shallow when we're stressed and concerned, anxiety. Well, so also he talks about in MAT therapy, hopefully you've watched the video, Greg talks about the instability of the body. So when there's tension, the body freezes to hold itself together, to compensate. It freezes like as if you're walking on ice. So you're even tense from muscles not working, and then increases the imbalance. And it becomes a vicious cycle where things get tighter and tighter, and the body does everything it can to compensate for this tightness, this imbalance. So this is going to lead to major problems, especially in the most complicated area in the body, where you have shoulder rotations on both sides, you have neck rotations. This is incredibly complex, and all these muscles need to work and fire at the same time. And if they're not, if they're disturbed by tightness, by rounded shoulder, by depression, by a lack of oxygen, like we're not breathing, our chest is not opened up, our posture, our lower back is getting weak because we are holding our posture up with our stomach muscles instead of our core. And so everything is tense here. So it starts leading to all kinds of problems. It also transfers all of our upper weight into the outside of our hips instead of down our spine like that cross. Our body is made like a cross. Our main structure and strength is straight down our body. That's what our core should be. But when everything starts rounding over, our back turns into an S. We no longer have that form, and it starts collapsing in here. That's what has caused the TOS. 100%. So I'm going to pause it here for a second because I meant to say something else. So let me see if I can look at my notes without having to stop it. So I did want to bring in one other thing about instability. So what goes on in our mind also goes on in our body. And so if we had an unstable childhood, or if we had a low sense of self-esteem as a child, and then, and then girls, they're put into these vests at a young age, basically telling them to cover up, hide, and really, they're putting this tension in them. So if all this has been put into us, then do we have an instability in our body in general? Would this instability in our body translate to our mind? Because we can think through things and we can figure it out, and we can reason with it and we can come to conclusions, but our body doesn't come to the same conclusions as our mind does. It has to be released from our body. And so that's where the diaphragmatic breathing comes from. Is it allows your body to calm down. So if you can get your mind in a calm state and you can calm your body at the same time in a very deep manner, which I hope this exercise that you all are going to be watching is going to help the way it helped me. I personally had quite an experience yesterday, and I really felt that I gained stability in my body. It was so different. And the inflammation, I've had fibromyalgia almost my whole life. Since I was a teenager, I noticed that I had inflamed muscles. I had a rough childhood. There was a lot of tension, a lot of stress. And I almost felt like that went away yesterday because I released it at the same time I was doing this breathing and telling my body that it can relax and let go. So I believe codependency, even some of your personality problems out there, BPD, other disorders, that's very common, is there's an instability in self. well, that's a core problem. Well, is it buried in your body? And is the big secret is better breathing, deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, and then of course focusing on relaxing. That can be explored obviously on your own, but I think it has something to do with the overall health and the overall picture of what we're trying to do to recover from TOS. This is obviously a multifaceted issue, and everybody has had the posture problems, everybody has stress, and I believe most of you all, like me, are more of an empath, a sensitive person. And science has proved that many sensitive people actually have a very sensitive tactile system. They have sensitive vision. Their sensitivity goes throughout the rest of their body. So we are probably more susceptible to, wearing a vest and, other stressors in life. And so that's why we have stumbled where others have not. They've been able to work through. Of course, extra traumas in the body, add to that. And then, your body gets to a certain level of tolerance and it can't take anymore. And it goes into PTSD, just like your mind does. It's done. It can handle it. So also with these exercises, we're raising the tolerance of the body back up so it can accept discomfort and limited pain that's in control. We are not panicking, our mind is not panicking, and so we tell our body not to panic because we're using this controlled good pain, like as if you're working out these muscles. It's going to bring positive. And so we are working on that CPTSD in our body, that's stuck in our body. And I think the breathing is huge. Oh my goodness, I wish I would have known. I had done diaphragmatic breathing. I had done several things with the life coaching, and she was a wonderful coach. But never did the exercises that we did have the results than what I did yesterday. It was very intense. The amount of oxygen that I put into my body and the relief was great. So I don't know if you all are going to be able to have that kind of relief immediately because a lot of your muscles are still tense, but it's something you can build up. I mean, it's a habit, and you will start training your body to diaphragmatically breathe, and it can do nothing but help you out. And honestly, I would say for the women, please, as much as you can go without your harness, I would highly recommend it. I think it's going to make a huge difference. I'm sure you've all tried it out. It's obviously, up to you, but a lot of these exercises, I would make sure that you're not wearing your bras. All of you, not wearing tight clothing, being relaxed between the exercises. You stretch, you have pain, and then you completely relax, and then you stretch in the pain again and completely relax until you're done. You'll be done up here, your body will be done, you're done for the day or for that time, and it's going to do nothing but benefit you. So I hope the video helps you out. I hope this does a good job of explaining what I am trying to do, and I really ask in return that you all please give me feedback, criticism, constructive criticism. Obviously you can say good things, but we also need to pay it forward. If I'm going to keep improving with this, presenting this, there's going to be more people after you. We want to help everyone. And so your all's feedback is just going to do nothing but help me improve my presentations, maybe my exercises, whatever we can do to pay it forward and help others out. I would greatly appreciate that. And of course, a little bit of encouragement, is nice too. But I love you all, and I really, really hope this starts becoming a big change in your life.